There's a certain comfort in the dark, isn't there? It's a strange feeling, how the darkness can feel like a blanket, even as it hides the things we fear most. A quiet understanding that what lurks in the shadows is often a reflection of what lurks within ourselves. The unknown isn't just out there, it's inside us too. Horror, as a genre, isn't just about the jump scare or the monster under the bed, it's a mirror. It forces us to confront the parts of ourselves we'd rather keep hidden, the anxieties we try to ignore. It shows us our anxieties, our societal fears, our grief, and honestly, the fragility of our own sanity. Horror is a language for the things we can't always say out loud. The best horror films don't just make you jump, they crawl under your skin and stay there, long after the credits have rolled. They linger in your mind, making you question what's real and what's imagined. They make you question the world around you, the people you trust, and even the very ground you stand on. Suddenly, the familiar becomes unfamiliar, and safety feels like an illusion. It's a genre that evolves with us, constantly finding new ways to tap into that primal, delicious sense of dread. As our fears change, so does horror, always adapting, always pushing boundaries. So what makes a horror film truly great? Is it the atmosphere, the story, or is it the way it makes your heart race and your mind spiral with possibilities? The sheer, unadulterated terror it can invoke? Or the way it lingers, making you glance over your shoulder long after the movie ends? Today we're going to explore that very question by looking at 10 films that I believe have perfected the art of fear. Each one is a unique experiment in terror. These aren't just scary movies, they are experiences. They pull you in, make you feel every heartbeat, every gasp, every chill. They are masterclasses in tension, storytelling, and psychological manipulation. The best horror films know how to play with your mind as much as your senses. They represent the pinnacle of what the genre can achieve, from the slow-burning dread that seeps into your bones to the visceral shocks that leave you breathless. Each film is a testament to the power of fear. This isn't just a list, it's a journey into the heart of darkness. A descent into the unknown, where every shadow could be hiding something unspeakable. Whether you're a horror junkie or just looking for something to haunt your dreams, we've got you covered. Prepare yourself for a ride you won't soon forget. These are the top 10 horror movies you need to watch, from psychological nightmares to straight-up supernatural terror. Each one is a must-see for any fan of the genre. Let's dive in, if you dare. The darkness is waiting, and so are the stories that will keep you up at night. And if you enjoy dissecting what makes horror tick as much as I do, consider hitting that subscribe button. Join our community of fellow thrill seekers and horror lovers. We've got a lot more darkness to explore together. There are always new nightmares to uncover, new fears to face. Subscribe for more horror content. The next scare is just around the corner. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Parker Finn's A Film That Took Social Media by Storm. A person witnesses a traumatic event and is haunted by an entity manifesting as people with unsettling smiles. The film explores trauma, mental illness, and the cyclical nature of pain. The true horror lies in the feeling of helplessness, and the terror of not being believed, turns a simple premise into a psychologically resonant horror experience. At number 9, Jennifer Kent's psychological horror masterpiece, The Babadook, became an instant classic, earning praise for its chilling atmosphere and emotional depth. It's a film about the monster born from grief and how trauma can take on a life of its own. Amelia, a widow, struggles to raise her troubled son Samuel after her husband's sudden death, both haunted by loss. A sinister pop-up book, Mr. Babadook, mysteriously appears, symbolizing the unprocessed grief that invades their lives. Essie Davis delivers a powerful, unforgettable performance as Amelia, exposing the dark side of motherhood and mental anguish. The Babadook itself is a terrifying manifestation of Amelia's deteriorating mental state and suppressed pain. The film masterfully builds claustrophobia, turning the family's home into a suffocating prison of fear and anxiety. The true horror is the monster Amelia herself becomes, consumed by her own unresolved grief. The ending elevates the film. Amelia confronts her grief, choosing to lock it away in the basement rather than destroy it. The Babadook is a moving, terrifying look at the monsters we create from our own pain and sorrow. Ultimately, it's about learning to live with grief, not defeating it, and finding a way to coexist with our darkest fears. At number 8, Robert Eggers feels like it was unearthed from the 17th century. A Puritan family is exiled and faces isolation and doom. The film's power lies in its historical accuracy and atmospheric horror. The horror is both supernatural and psychological, with the family turning on each other, explores religious fear and feminine power. At number 7, Zach Cregger's demolishes expectations. A young woman, Tess, finds her rental double-booked with a man named Keith. The film plays with genre expectations, building tension and psychological dread. The horror isn't what it seems, revealing hidden horrors of the past, is a structural marvel, combining social commentary with raw terror. It's a roller coaster ride through a house of horrors. For its audacity, is a memorable horror experience. At number 6, Tobe Hooper's feels like found footage evidence. A group of young people stumble upon a family of cannibals. The horror is in its randomness and pointlessness. The Sawyer family are twisted by isolation and madness. The film's verite style makes it effective, with implied violence and sensory assault. Leatherface is a hulking, terrified man-child. The final act is a descent into madness, with Sally's escape a shattered mind, is relentless and disturbingly real. At number 5, David Robert Mitchell's chilling film It Follows created a new kind of movie monster that lingers in your mind long after the credits roll. A sexually transmitted curse relentlessly haunts the protagonist Jay, forcing her to constantly look over her shoulder. The horror is built on constant low-level dread, where every shadow and every footstep could mean danger. The monster is a persistent, creeping certainty, always advancing, never stopping, no matter how far you run. The film forces the audience into hypervigilance, creating a shared sense of paranoia and unease. Visually stunning, with a timeless, dreamlike quality that blurs the line between reality and nightmare. The entity is a brilliant creation, representing trauma that follows you everywhere, no matter how hard you try to escape. It's a powerful metaphor for anxiety, mortality, and the inevitable loss of innocence that comes with growing up. The film taps into the universal feeling of danger and responsibility, making the threat feel deeply personal. It's a monster that represents the end of childhood and the beginning of adult fears. It Follows is a film that turns the simple act of someone walking toward you into pure, unforgettable horror. At number 4, Ari Aster's is a cinematic gut punch. It presents a family drama that reveals demonic horror. The Graham family unravels after the matriarch's death. The film explores inherited trauma and grief-induced madness. The supernatural elements blur reality, creating unease. Is a story of a family on rails heading towards horror. At number 3, Stanley Kubrick's is a cultural landmark. It's a story of isolation, madness, and the ghosts of history. The Overlook Hotel creates a sense of agoraphobia and claustrophobia. The film's sound design and unsettling score create a sense of wrongness. Jack Nicholson's performance is legendary, a descent into madness. The film's nightmarish imagery taps into primal fears, is pure atmospheric dread, a portrait of madness. At number 2, Jordan Peele's redefined modern horror. It's a thriller and commentary on race in America. The horror is built on microaggressions and the terror of being the other. Peele's script is a masterwork of foreshadowing and symbolism. The Sunken Place is a chilling metaphor for marginalization. Proved horror could be smart, funny, and socially relevant. It's a modern classic that opened the door for social thrillers. At number 1, William Friedkin's is the holy grail of horror, a cultural phenomenon that shocked the world. The story is a descent into hell, grounded in reality. The supernatural horror is devastatingly effective. The film is about faith, loss of faith, and confronting absolute evil. The exorcism scenes are an assault on the senses, is primal and absolute, a benchmark for the genre. It remains horror perfection. And there you have it. 10 films that represent the peak of cinematic horror. They prove horror is more than cheap thrills. It's a vital art form. These films explore our deepest anxieties and societal failings. They remind us that fear is a universal language. Thanks for watching. Stay scared and stay